I'm a 3D artist, and in this video, I turned popular video games into highly detailed Lego sets and got the actual lead artists from the games to judge my designs. I don't know why they let me, of all people, do this, but I cannot let them down under any circumstances. I'm starting with the gold mine from Clash of Clans. It's one of the most recognizable buildings from the game, and if Supercell is gonna actually see this, I'm legally required to include it. I'm making these on a 3x3 grid system based on the game itself. Buildings can have different sizes, but you can connect the tiles themselves into whatever shape you want. I built the frame out of these angular pieces so the whole thing can just rotate into place. I'm actually trying this time, so I went with 2 alternating shades of brown to make it look just as busted up as my own Clash of Clans base. It even set up all these rounded pieces on the bottom to look like the rocks from the original building. It's all built on a single plate, so you can pick it up without breaking it, and compared to the original, I think it looks close enough. Unfortunately, I'm kind of a dumb ape and designed the grid system so that buildings only work every other square, but we can fix that pretty easily by not telling them that. I want to have at least 15 buildings to show Supercell, so while I'm at it, I made the elixir collector out of these half cylinders and pipes, and 3 different variations of the elixir storage building. This one's probably the closest to the real thing. I even matched the color of the bar to the grass, so it looks like it's floating. But the most recognizable part of the game is probably the troops themselves. Last time I played, I thought there were like 10, but they have 94 of them now, which is crazy since you only need 1. The problem is I only have 2 of them, and if I'm going to be showing these to Supercell themselves, I want to make at least a couple more. Next on the list is the giant. His face looks like a Mr. Beast thumbnail, so that's a plus. How does he get through the barracks door? Well, moving on. I looked for some designs to borrow, and there's only 2 builds I can really use. One of them is too big, and the other one, yeah, I'm not topping that. Thankfully, Lego did already fix this problem 20 years ago. They're called Big Figs, and they've been around since 1999 when they made this rock monster. You got the Hulk, Winston, you got Mungus. Don't tell me you forgot about Mungus. I ended up buying this 3D model of one, which was a pretty good deal. It's got the arm joints, it's got bones so I can do things to it. And most importantly, it was only $5. Thanks, Mark. I brought it into Blender, gave it the skin color, put some clothes on him, and now it's time to add the ears. Now it's time to delete the ears. And sculpting is just one of those things that I regret doing every single time, but I kept going, and that looks like a croissant. I added all the details like the shirt clips and the ripped sleeves and the toes. Hey, if Lego does it, I do it too. That's how it goes. And with that, it's finally time to add the face. Oh yeah. This is good stuff. I'm getting sued for this. You know what? Good enough for me. Yeah, it's a little cursed, but I'm too lazy to fix it, so... Goblin time! Lego has a few goblin heads already, and none of them work. Believe me, I tried all of them. Well, guess we're making it from scratch again. I made this custom decal with the crazy eyes. Really try to draw out that unhinged lunacy and greed. And with that... Oh yeah, the ears. And with that, it's pretty much ready to go. So that brings us up to 4 troops in total, which isn't bad. But if I'm gonna impress Supercell, I need to lock in immediately. Right now we have 11 buildings, but we're still missing a few of them. Like a few hundred actually. I want to turn this into one big set that you can play like a board game, so we're gonna need a couple of things. Number 1, the town hall. It's pretty much the most important building because everyone lives there or something, even though it's the size of a couple of trees. So I built one with a removable roof and all these wood planks on the side. Next I made the cannon. I wanted to use the R2-D2 piece, but I ended up going with a swiveling design that uses this bar in the middle to make sure everything's completely stable. You can't build anything without the builder's hut, so gotta at least make that. I'm gonna let you in on a secret here. The barracks, it's just a red builder's hut. All you gotta do is change the tools on top and it's basically done. I also made 3 new debris pieces by deciphering these 20 pixel wide reference images. The hardest one was probably this mushroom, which I made out of bike handles and frogs. I have no idea how and why, but it looks kind of good. With that, I was out of time, so I took the 17 buildings and 4 minifigures and combined them all into one massive set. The final set comes out to 4,400 pieces, which would cost about $500. No offense to whoever designed this thing, but that's too much, man. I don't think I would buy this. It's not everything, but it should be enough to impress Supercell. Next, I started making the cherry bomb from Plants vs. Zombies. I already made the first 2 plants at the cost of my soul, but I kind of cooked myself by locking them into this 3x3 grid. Making anything in that scale is really difficult, and now I have 3 studs to make this? Absolutely not. I ended up getting it done with a headpiece and a dome connected with a droid arm, and it's not perfect, but it's up to par with the rest of them. Yeah, technically this color doesn't actually exist in Lego, but neither does this, so we're doing it. I drew a custom decal for the faces, and compared to the first 2, I actually think I like this one better. I got the original artist for Plants vs. Zombies to react to this, so hopefully they don't notice that the heads are completely the wrong size. Placing it on the diorama from last time, it fits pretty well, and you can still put other plants next to it. But if I'm gonna impress this guy, we're gonna need more plants. I started with the walnut. It's basically the tank for the plants. Yeah, I'm starting to really regret making this grid 3 studs wide. I ended up locking down a pretty good shape with 15 pieces. The curves aren't perfect, but I'd say this one's like a 5 out of 10 difficulty. Lego just just doesn't have a lot of pieces that curve on more than one axis. It's close enough though. Next, I made the potato mine. This was always one of my favorites since I'm from Idaho and that's all we have over here. Let's see the competition on this one. Okay, got it. This isn't even 1 out of 10 difficulty. I made it out of 3 pieces. Let's just pretend this one is shorter, okay? I think my favorite part of this one is that psychopathic absent stare. This mad lad was born purely to explode and it doesn't even care. So yeah, next I made the snow pea. It's pretty much just a blue pea shooter. All I did was change the frog for a flower, which I guess is the ice crystal now. Honestly, I think it looks even better than the first one. I also made the repeater and this one might even be more lazy. It's not even a different color this time. I just swapped the frog for a leaf, drew the world's worst eyebrow, and that's it. 6 pieces, too easy. If only I had stopped right there. There's one plant that I skipped because of how impossible it would be to make, but if I'm gonna impress the original artist of this game, I'm gonna have to bite the bullet here. It's called the Chomper, and its whole gimmick is that it swallows zombies whole like a piranha plant. It's got a curved vine, it's got spikes all over it, and I'm supposed to make this thing in a 3x3 stud area. What was I thinking? People have tried to make this out of Lego before. This one's kind of close, I guess. This one looks good if I wanted it to be bigger than the entire house. And this guy just said, forget it, we're using the Crystal King headpiece from Power Miners. And can I blame him? No, this shape is impossible. Unless you have the mental illness to search through every piece Lego has ever made to find something, anything that would look even remotely similar. I tried motorcycle helmets, human arms, streetlights, lightsabers, spiderwebs, Among Us piece, and against all odds, 5 entire hours later, I finally did it. 2 leaves, a hot dog, 2 wrenches, a human head, and a fishbowl. That's how you make the best Lego Chomper in a 3-stud area. This was 10 out of 10 for difficulty, but I think it actually turned out to be my favorite out of all 8 plants. I would sell my fat gold Pikachu to buy this set. And I do it on TCG Player, the sponsor of today's video, and the #1 marketplace for trading card games out there. My girlfriend plays Magic. Me personally, I'm just a fan of high quality art. Not this though. There we go. Whatever your game of choice is, TCG Player connects thousands of local game stores from all over the world to get you whatever card you need. You can see how popular cards are, how much your cards are worth over time. $6. Hey, $2 is still a profit. Whoa, hold up. Is that real? You know it's a good card when it's worth more than the binder you put it in. Whether you're building a deck, a collection, or a Vaporeon shrine. Wait a minute. Check out TCG Player today using my link in the description to get special deals for a limited time. But that's enough of that. Let's get back to the video. Before I show this to the original artist, there's one more thing I need to fix. When I designed the Lego pea shooter, I made this diorama to go along with it. It's basically a replica of the front yard from the game with a house, lawnmowers, and the grid for all the plants. Unfortunately, the Lego designer absolutely roasted me because of this roof design, so I nuked it into orbit real quick and started researching different roof building techniques I could use. Everybody's got their own method for this. I've seen people using flippers and chairs. For mine, I ended up using these angular pieces and just started replacing them with as much random nonsense as I could think of. There's plants poking out, there's a butterfly over here. I even added a pot on the roof to reference the roof levels from the game. Smoke made out of those transparent fire pieces, hanging plants, a clock, a garden hose. If you ask me, it's a pretty major upgrade. But my opinion doesn't matter here, so I asked the original Lego designer and I was finally able to get his full approval. And with that, my time was up and it was time to get my work roasted by some real industry professionals. I also made some other random games in my free time, like this tack shooter from Monkey Balloon game. I wasn't restricted to a grid for this one, so I made it pretty big with 30 pieces, mostly centered around this wheel piece with the exact same number of bars as the cannons. For me, this one's like 9 out of 10. It's pretty close. I'm not gonna try to make the monkeys though. That looks kind of difficult. I also made Isaac from Binding of Isaac. Turns out the fishbowl piece is like my new favorite thing now. I just slapped it on top of the micro figure piece that they used for micro skill sets or the Lego games. Remember those? This one's like an 8 out of 10. Next, I made Fallout Boy from hit TV show Fallout. I literally just downloaded the texture and put it on a blank minifigure for this one. It's like a 4 out of 10. I just wanted to do it, okay? Revenant from Doom, that's a cool one. Did you know they have these long skeleton legs they made just for the Wither skeleton? I made the backshot cannons out of these 2 Among Us pieces. It's a cool technique, but it's like 3 out of 10 for similarity, not my favorite. Finally, I made Monkey Ball from Monkey Ball, which I did by putting this monkey into a ball. It's flawless, 10 out of 10. Seriously, now who am I kidding? 11 out of 10.
I've been making video games for 24 years now, where I became an employee at PopCap, made Plants vs. Zombies, and then now I teach at a college called DigiPen. Oh, what a tree! The frog on the back. Probably give that like a B rank, maybe. Oh, wild. Kind of remind me more of an actual sunflower. I mean, if you look at even on my profile pictures, like the leaves on a sunflower don't look the way that I drew them. They were originally pixely drawn by George himself, and I took those designs and then tweaked them to the way I draw and like tried to add like some flair to them and some personality and stuff. I don't know, that's pretty spot on. You can give that guy an A. What? This is awesome. I like the different head shapes, and I like how you connected the pieces together, these stems. Dude, that one's killer. This one's S tier, bro. Oh, you know, why does it look good though still? I don't know, it's weird. The thought process that you put that together in that way is pretty ingenious, actually, the way how you were able to even get that shape out of that. I really like the walnut and the tall nut because they have that sort of dead eye glare, like they're cute and they don't seem like they understand what's happening even really. I would give that one a B, move the pea shooter down one if I had to. Look how simple that one is. Nice. That guy's rad. He's there with the walnut, I think. Yeah, no, I like that. I know it's very subtle just because one just has the frog and one has the petals. I like the petals better. I'd sit that one next to the sunflower. Hey man, that turned out good though. How'd you get where'd that round shape come from? Man, that guy's going next to the cherry bombs, dude. He looks pretty rad. Ooh, he actually looks extra menacing. That's my favorite of the shooters. He's a little bit better than the snow pea. He's in that same range. You can put him next to him. That is cool. I like what you did with the house. The roof tiles are amazing. Oh, that's really nice. There's something about those crazy roof tiles that you put up there that really feel they belong. You know what I mean? Like it feels like the original game because the tiles of the roof are kind of uneven and kind of messed up and stuff. And these ones are like, have that same vibe. If anybody wants to follow me, I post most of my stuff on Twitter. I post all my art processes and things on there, like anything that I'm working on. The thing that I would say for anybody just aspiring is just, it really is just about practicing all the time, just doing stuff.
I really like it. I think it looks good. It captures that kind of like trickety, kind of like not all put together. This is D tier. I think this is our first S tier building. I think above the China. I think this is S tier as well. The saw design is very clever. This one is really good. Like, I'm impressed. To me, that's perfect. Honestly, I would say A. That's S tier. Yeah, that's the best one so far. It's such a clever design. Like the saw side version of Chef's Kiss. He captured the vibe of the characters really well.
With that, I successfully managed to impress the lead artists of some of my favorite games, but this isn't over until it's S tier every single time.